Hey everybody, I'm making a break video here to describe Milestone 2, kind of getting you set up for the next step in our marketing project for the term. So in Milestone 2, this is really we're going to define what the product is. So using the generalized target definition which you developed in Milestone 1, again you're going to borrow from Milestone 1 pretty much throughout the rest of the project here. But using that generalized target definition, you're going to outline clear statements of what your target's needs are in relationship to this product line, and outline clear statements of what your target's wants are. There's a difference between the two. Needs are what what needs to be fulfilled. Wants are what they aspire to get. But your answer ultimately needs to be based on your research. So look for the needs and wants for guacamole buyers, specifically your target market. Try to understand what it is that they are looking for. If you're not able to find it for guacamole products, there are some, but you might have to raise it up a notch and look at condiments in general, and as a last ditch, look at what they want from food and groceries in general as a starting point. Either way, what it's important to do is understand and articulate what it is your target market is looking for in relationship to the product, because that should ultimately determine how you're going to put your product together. So where to start on this whole thing? Obviously, it's to understand the target's needs and wants, so you got to go through and understand that very clearly. And then you have to think about the features of the product that you're going to put together. Those are the more tangible, definable elements of your product. Usually pretty easily defined, not easily definable, but clearly definable. And then think about the benefits that your market derives from the product. Those come from the features, but they ultimately are the benefits. Those are what are fulfilling their needs and wants ultimately. Okay, so the formula to think about more or less is the features are basically equal to the benefits derived, which are equal to the needs and wants of your target market. That equation with all those equal signs is really, really important to do, because again, you need to make sure that what you are ultimately building into your product, the features that are built into your product, are based on the benefits that your target market is looking for. Okay? That becomes very important. That's why these first steps are really important to understand and do the research to understand it. And the product recipe, of course, is important, but so is packaging form. So we all know that we want to be able to buy products that are more or less configured in the way we want to use them. So if we're a single person and we have a single household and it's just us, and we want to get the smallest containers we can get, right? Last thing we want to do is waste products, especially on a perishable product like guacamole. So you might want smaller tubs, things like that. So if that's who your target market is, but that just gives an example of what we're talking about. So packaging form is a really important consideration as well. And then I just want you to take away for this project, for the class, I want you to base it on one flavor or type of guacamole. I know you probably want to have a broader offer, and you would want to expand on it from a practical standpoint, and it makes sense that you would consider doing that. But we're trying to keep this as simple as possible so you can get through the project and just understand exactly how these pieces come together. And then the last thing I'm going to tell you is, because this is inevitable when I teach this class in other schools as well as the same thing, please don't invent new things here. It's like, some miraculous thing that allows you to put guacamole and it lasts for 50 years in a container. I mean, it's just like, we know that's not going to happen. So let's not invent new process here. Let's try to keep it simple. Make sure it's fairly logical what we're doing. Ultimately, once you're done with that and you understand the needs and benefits, you want to be able to write a position statement. And you might ask yourself the question, is like, well, isn't this kind of premature to be doing a position statement? There's other things we have to define before we can actually do that. But what I would say is the other way around, is you basically understand who your customer is and what their needs and wants are. So you should be able to write this position statement. So this can be as complex as you want it to be, but I think it answers three really basic questions. think about who you are trying to persuade, and basically you've already defined that. You did that in Milestone 1. Okay, who are you competing with? The other choices that that target customer base has. So you got to think about your competition here. This is where that kind of enters into the equation. Where are they positioned? And how does the customer perceive them? But the ultimate thing you want to be able to answer is what makes us unique, a clear advantage over the competitors. That is not easy to do for most companies. It's hard to really distinguish yourself in a very unique way, but you want to try to do that, and it's only of benefit to you to if it offers a unique value to your target market. If it's an advantage that nobody cares about, well, it doesn't do you any good. Okay, and it doesn't do because it doesn't do the customer any good. So you need to think about that as what's your clear advantage over the competitors. So do some research here, really understand what the competitive landscape is for guacamole products, and then say, like, where would I fit in here? Where can I fit in best, given what I know about the needs of my target market to be, okay? So ultimately, when you write this one, you're going to come up with a brief description of your persona, one paragraph. You're going to say, like, gee, I've done that already, haven't I? You're probably going to do it many times, so you might as well just, like, save that somewhere so you can copy and paste it. But because it is all based on your target market, okay, you want to clearly define, with some research backing it, what the needs of your persona are. You know, what are they looking for? What do they care about? What's important to them, okay? And what are the wants of your persona? So that's a little bit different definition. But those are the wants. So, like, needs would be, you know, they want something in a, you know, excuse me, that's in a form that they can use. It's, you know, with looking for quality and things like quality ingredients or whatever. You know, those types of things are what the needs of your persona are. They need a healthy product. You know, that's another consideration is product. All those different types of things. Those are needs. The wants of your persona are they want to provide a healthy alternative to their family, to themselves and their families. I'm not saying this is the case, but I'm saying that could be one of them. So as you can base this on the research you did last week and to define what the needs of your persona are and the wants of your persona are, okay? And they are distinct. So if you look at it, I really want 5 needs very clearly defined, and I want 3 wants to be clearly defined. They're a little bit harder to come by, okay? So, and you might also think of wants as being something that might be more tied into psychographics, for example, than demographics, just as an example, okay? So keep it in mind, the overall strategy of the company, define the features of your product offer, okay? So the overall needs, overall strategy of the company as it equates to the needs of your persona, okay? So, and then keeping in mind the overall strategy of the company, define the benefits that your product offers to your target market. So again, this is making the product. You're really defining the product at this point. Again, based on numbers 2 and 3, the needs of your persona and the wants of your persona. Okay. And then once all that's done, I want you to write that concise position statement. It's usually 2 to 3 paragraphs. Answer those 3 questions as I've asked them, and it helps put together, you know, where you fit within the overall marketplace from the perspective of your target market. Okay. Take your time on this one. Try to understand a little bit more about what goes into it, or what your persona is looking for, your target market's looking for, and it'll really, the more you understand that, the easier it is to basically come up with a configuration of what the product should look like as well. Okay, so if you have any questions about it, don't hesitate to reach out and let me know. But this is usually pretty easily, I don't want to say easily done, but if you've done Milestone 1 well, this is not as hard to do, I guess would be my way of putting it. All right. But again, if you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out, and I wish you the very best with it.